Hi guys, it's Andy from mcfcfantv and welcome to tonight's vlog and welcome to Chris. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, thanks, Andy. How's yourself?
Yeah, good. Well, before we get into the chats, obviously we had a bit of bad news today on social media, and this vlog is about Sergio Aguero, but it just goes to show you that sometimes there are bigger things in life than football. And I just want to say, for this man, Claude, rest in peace, buddy. And yeah, terrible, terrible, terrible news today. That we've been in touch. Me and Chris have been in touch with Terry from Claude and the Banstas, and yeah, it was just such sad news to hear it. And yes, rest in peace to the man. Just awful news, Chris.
Dreadful. I was really surprised, when you sent me the text earlier on. I mean, I've never done a collab with Claude, but obviously I know of him. I've watched plenty of Claude and the Banstas because of the work that this channel's done with them. And he just came across as a really passionate gooner with a great sense of humour. But when you read people who really know him, have written on Twitter and other social media forums, you see how highly regarded he is by his work colleagues and his colleagues, and I just want to send my condolences to his family and friends, and especially to Terry and Diesel. It's such a sad loss, mate.
It is. And yeah, no speculation or anything like that. I think just give it a few days and let the people, his friends and family and everyone just mourn the sad passing of Claude. Yeah, big shock. It was this afternoon when I got the news, and yeah, Terry and Diesel and the guys over at Claude and the Banstas, and I'm sure many at Arsenal Fan TV as well will be devastated to hear the news. But yeah, rest in peace, Claude, and everyone, certainly from everyone at Man City Fan TV, and Chris is there raising a glass to Claude. So yeah, but anyway, on to tonight's show, and couldn't do one last night. It was funny because Kurt did his vlog early, and literally about an hour later, we had the news that official news, even though I think many suspected it could have happened, was that Sergio Aguero was leaving Man City. And sorry, I couldn't come back last night because it was my wife's birthday and we were having an evening meal and everything, and so there was no way I could come back and say, sorry, Sergio's leaving, can I just interrupt your birthday meal and everything, just so I can go and just say Sergio's leaving, that everybody knew about. But anyway, what we thought we'd do tonight is that we'd look back on Sergio's career and highlights and memories and things like that, because it's going to be a very, very sad day when it goes, especially after everything that's happened with David Silva leaving and nobody being able to give him a proper send-off. Now, Sergio, maybe a few thousand might be able to see the last game and whatever else. But before we get into it, Chris, before I ask your thoughts on Sergio as an overall sort of thought, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at memories, best memories. We're going to look at best goals, and then we'll talk a little bit about where Sergio might end up. But let's just go through and see some of the comments anyway. Even a cat's tail comes to an end. Viva Aguero, one and only. They come to an end. Everything comes to an end, mate. Why? Aguero is a legend. For me, the GOAT, just the best ever. Harsh says, still can't believe it. God of all time. Charlie, over evening, guys. I'm absolutely gutted about the news yesterday night. After the news, got all my Sergio shirts out and thought it's time to add one more shirt to the collection to get the seasons away. My lad did it. My lad ordered he ordered the kit last night with Kun Aguero on the back, and I was like, "What? You've got loads of them?" He went, "I know, but I didn't get that. I wanted the away kit with him. I just had to." So he's done the same. Fendi says a legend. Sean Fogarty said so heartbreaking. Vinny Reed says the end of an era, guys. Well, everything moves on. Everything moves on, Vinny. It does. Charlie says, I think it's almost certain we get Haaland now. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure it's certain, but they've obviously got something in the pipeline, haven't they? Why announce it now? Have we someone lined up? Who knows? Who knows, John Grogan? They brought the talks forward so it would allow Sergio more time. Yep, that's the rumours. Posted that on Twitter earlier. There has been a super chat, and that's from Martin. Has that come up on the screen? That's not come up on the screen, has it? I'll bring it up in it. Is it down here or is it up here? Sorry, there's been a big, massive jump, clearly. Has it?
There was one before Martin's, Andy.
Well, yeah, was there? Yeah, I just thought that. Another one come up, but I'll come through. I'll come through your comments first. Charlie says, Kurt, remember what I said on yesterday's live vlog about Aguero and Fernandinho? This is how it feels to be City. This is how it feels to be small. You signed Phil Jones. Yeah, I was listening to this morning. I was doing some work this morning, and in the background, I was listening to a repeat on Talk Sport. It's quite funny, actually. Simon Jordan and that. And he was, I think it was, no, it wasn't. It was Laura Woods, and they interviewed Noel Gallagher, and he said, yeah, can you remember when Ferguson said, yeah, I know this club, blah, 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 signing in, all that money, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we just signed Phil Jones. You wait and see what happens. It's quite frightening, isn't it? It just goes to show you when you make comments on social media, come back and
Ollie Holtz came back up yesterday, didn't it? About,
well, yeah, I mean,
Charlie Adam's going to be there.
Yeah. He was trying to bat it off as a bit of a joke, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah. But fair play.
Yeah, at least he's laughing at himself. I'd just like to see him play some games towards the end of the season. Could be him and Fernandinho picking up some trophies before they leave. Paul, let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Charlie Everett, I know, mate, didn't want to believe it, but in the end, it's an era coming to an end. Just hope Sergio doesn't go to another Premiership team. I'd be very, very surprised if that happens. Hi, guys. Hope you're well, Abdallah. Yeah, very good, mate. Ocean Rage, evening all. Last of Mancini's Legends is about what an era it was. Yeah, and it's like everything comes to an end. Evening Blues, it's such a sad day. It is, but we have to celebrate Sergio on what it's been like for the last 10 years. Heartbroken about Aguero, but so grateful for his years of contribution. A true blue forever and the Premier League's god of all time, says Gomscar 13. Can't disagree with that. Evening, Noah Pearson. You all right? I did see a tweet from Chris to Noah on Twitter about his. Yeah, I did see that.
As soon as I read it, Noah's came into my mind straight away.
Hi, Chris. Hashtag legend, says
Charlie.
Sarthak Pandey says, Aguero, you will be missed. Of course he'll be missed. Kurt says, rest in peace, Claude. Yeah, very sad. Kex says, hi, boys. Hope everyone's good. Dogs and all. Yeah, rest in peace, Claude. Yeah, rest in peace, Claude. Says Charlie as well, and Sean, and Iota Fierce Thompson, and SOS, and Noah. My condolences to his family. Yes, sad news today. Over 200 club goals and now no respect. Drogba, it's a disgrace. Hi, guys. Kamal, how are you? Lee Cullen, hi. Sorry to hear the news about Claude. Yeah, very sad today. Rest in peace, Claude, says Abdallah. Rest in peace, Claude. Thoughts and prayers with your friends and family, says Martin. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Claude, says Ocean Rage. Kurt, everyone who had the pleasure of working with Claude didn't have a bad word to say about him. He will be missed. He will be. He will. It's a really sad day. Yeah. Hi there, and rest in peace, Claude, says Mingy Wong. John Grogan says, rest in peace, Claude. Kurt says, proper bad timing from my vlog yesterday. Typical. Yeah, well, I was only thinking about that late last night when I got into bed, and I was thinking, bloody hell, if we did it a couple of hours later, you could have had the whole breaking news of Sergio, but it is what it is. Happy birthday to your wife, Andy. Thank you, mate. It was yesterday, but she had a good day, I think. Great stream yesterday, Kurt, says Charlie. Kamal, I would have kept Sergio for another season. I think many would have done. Happy birthday to your wife, Andy. It was yesterday. That's why I couldn't do the vlog yesterday. Sergio is a great striker in the Premier League. Possibly. Iota Fierce, thank you so much for the super sticker. Very much appreciated. Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate it. Aguero is phenomenal, says Yusuf. Kurt says, cheers, Charlie. Glad you enjoyed it. Tried something different. Seems like it went down well. It was a very good vlog last night. Just shame it went a couple of hours later, and it would have been perfect timing, wouldn't it? But brilliant vlog. If you've not seen it, go over and listen to Kurt last night was talking about all the fixtures in April coming up. And looking at them, I looked at them today. It's like, I've got some bloody really, tough fixtures coming up soon. Martin, thank you very much for the super chat there, mate. Sad that Sergio is leaving, but what a player. So many memories and great goals. Hopefully we can do Silver 11 versus Sergio 11. Good luck, Sergio, and thank you. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Can you imagine that?
That'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
A Sergio 11 versus a maybe we need to pick that. Who might David Silva pick in his compared to a Sergio 11? You've got to think that Sergio will have all the Argentinians and things in there, and David would have all the Spaniards in there, like Xavi Alonso and Iniesta.
Yeah, but you'd imagine Vinny and Nigel de Jong and players that would all come back.
And which team do they go into?
Yeah.
Vinny versus Nigel. That'd be interesting. Sup, boys, says Tyrone. Douglas, how are you, mate? The club must have been worried his injuries would have kept on being an issue going forward. I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. I'll ask Chris his thoughts, but mate, 4 or 5 games in a whole season. We do need a little bit more, and we don't know whether. And the gamble is you don't know whether that's going to be the same thing next season. And the money that is on, and the age and everything else, can you afford to be paying somebody that might be incoming, 250, 300, 350,000 pound a week when you've got another player on 275 grand a week? You might play 4 or 5 games next season. You just can't. So we'll get to know the truth and everything as to why it's come about. But I know there were rumours that Sergio said that he wanted to stay. He would like to stay. But I think realistically, as City fans, we have to. The club have got to look after the club, not what the fans think about it and things. So, Aguero #legend, said Peter Curry. I was going to get mine yesterday night, but they sold out my size. Going to have to wait until the 12th of April. I think my lads ordered it, so it should come tomorrow. I think the world's best striker in the Premier League history. He will always be remembered. Club icon and a legend. Well, we know about the statue, don't we? Just gutted fans will not be able to say their goodbye. I think some might be able to. Unfortunately, Lee, not many. Been feeling so weird since this got announced. Absolutely gutted. Raiola made bad comments on Pep. I don't know whether he made bad comments. I think what he was trying to say was that even though they've not got on in the past, that is it. It's all about business. And I think if anything, he actually made some positive statements moving forward. If Haaland was to be on City's radar, basically saying we might have fallen out in the past, but business is business, and that's the way it is. And let's face it, Pep Guardiola doesn't have to deal with Mino Raiola. Ferran Soriano and Cheeky does. Pep doesn't have to have anything to do with agents. Nothing to do with them. Iota Fierce again, another super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Heartbreaking I've been crying since yesterday. Legend King Kun. I think I've seen that all over Twitter. Everyone just seems to be absolutely devastated. Now, I'm not as devastated as I was when David Silva left. I must admit, I'm not. I'm gutted. I wanted him, and you've seen me and others on here on Man City Fan TV say we want another year out of him. I'm just gutted. The chances are I'm not going to see him like I did see David Silva. That's my only regret. But I'm sure City will make sure when the fans are back in the stadium, all the fans are back in the stadium, that there will be a couple of games, or one game, like Martin said, Kun versus Silva testimonial, maybe even a Vinny Company, maybe a trio of something happening. We'll see anyway. Maybe get Zappa back as well, make it a quadruple, all four of them, all four legends. And if Fernandinho leaves as well in the summer, make it a quintuple. Let's get all five of them back and have one big massive game, because we don't any more extra games, do we? Gallagher, that was great. It was really good. It was very, very good. Kurt says, spoke to Claude a few times for various things when I was helping out on Man City Fan TV. And the guy always said yes, he would always help the channel. Tragic loss, and he was a true gentleman. He was, sorry, Kian, not Kurt, Kian. He was, mate. He absolutely was. And yeah, it's a real blow, and it's very, very sad news. It really is. Ray Fernley says City wouldn't release Sergio unless a replacement already found. You would think not, Ray. You would think not. Let's get that Champions League for Sergio. That says Kamal. Tyrone says, listening to TalkSport, Liverpool fans are bitching about the statue. They bitch about everything, mate. He will probably go to Barcelona. Maybe we're going to talk about that. I agree with Ray. Surely they can't do the same what they did with Company and wait a year. Evening all. John Walters is on. Neil Hanstock. The Etihad should be renamed Estadio Aguero. Hey, good idea for his final match. Hello, people. Dupes is on. How are you, mate? Ryan's on. Don't want Harry Kane at City. Get Haaland, but don't get into a bidding war with Daft United. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. At least we can cope with him leaving. We played the last 12 months without him. And that's a great point, Paul, to be fair. Let's win the quad for Sergio. Sorry about Claude, says John Walters. Yeah, sad news. The creator of the tweet, which Chris tagged me in, is a legend. Tweets some very good dad jokes, which I use and love. I'm sure everyone loves dad jokes.
We do. No, we do.
Rest in peace, Claude. Condolences to his family, says Duke. Scott Williams is on Evening Blues. 10 years of reflection after the news, but the one thing that was a constant during that time was Kun hitting the onion bag. Absolutely spot on. That's one thing he did do. My Lord, I just had massive jumping. So many comments. Rest in peace, Claude, says Tyrone. Thank you, mate. Lily says, hi all, just reminisce by watching all the Sergio goals he scored. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since Sergio banged in the first two goals versus Swansea. Club legend, and rest in peace, Claude. As John says, Sergio leaving is like a retirement, a great aging battleship. Rest in peace, Claude, said Yusuf. Charlie, another fixture just been added to the April fixture list. They've squeezed Villa in now. Looks like we've got big April. Rest in peace, Claude, says Dudley Lewis. Thank you, mate. Imagine if we go and blow the budget on Haaland. Epic. I think we should. We don't desperately need strengthening anywhere else. Maybe left back. We've not done too bad over the last few seasons. Andy finally gets to see Messi. Ain't going to happen now, mate, is it? I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see, unless Sergio got back to Independiente. That's the one thing. I think if he goes home, which we'll talk about, then I still think the Messi thing is on. But I think the odds have reduced massively with Aguero not being at City. I said it a few weeks ago, didn't I? I said if Sergio leaves, I find it very difficult to see Aguero coming here. Messi coming here. Yeah. Could Sergio have an injury that keeps recurring? City medical team must know. Maybe Sergio's going at the end of the new era, Man City era. Everything is cyclic, isn't it? It's cyclic. Yeah. one of those. We've come to the end, haven't we? This will be the end now with Joe Hart going, Vincent Kompany going. If Fernandinho goes, David Silva, now Sergio Aguero as well. So it is what it is. We have to move on. We can't keep them forever, can we? 10 years gone so quick. We've gone off 3-4 years, but wish him all the best. Absolutely. They've had to be captains to do numbers to the side for Aguero. They would do. Right. Let's just see if there's any new ones. Section's on. How are you, Section? Not spoke to you for ages, mate. Yeah, I should get a cake. Yeah. Did hear him talking on Talk Sport earlier. No, not Haaland paying 400k in Real. I don't want anything to do with him. David Sergio Kompany joint statue would be nice touch. Yeah, it would. I agree with that. But then there are the couple of legends for me. Zappa is a legend at City. So is Fernandinho for me as well. He's another who's a legend. Has he done everything that Sergio and David has, or Vinny? Maybe slightly not, but I still think he's a legend for me. I really do. I think he's been absolutely amazing. But just finally, a couple of fine ones. Anyone else think City didn't offer Sergio a new contract, though we have a replacement already lined up? We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. You would imagine, common sense would say, I don't know, Chris, what do you think? Do you think the fact that they've announced it now, because they did say they were going to do it at the end of the season, but they brought it forward, and the rumours were that Khaldoon asked Sergio to go in, spoke to Sergio, and then he spoke to Pep Guardiola. It was decided. Whether how long that's been going on for, we don't know.
Yeah. It's all speculation, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it all boils down to giving Sergio the time to decide on what he wants to do, and that's what Khaldoon has said in the past. It'd be down to Sergio. I'm sure he want to stay. I'm pretty sure of that, Andy, that he wanted to stay at City, but I think City rightfully said, well, we can't keep paying you that kind of wage if you're not playing, 40 or 50 games a season. And unfortunately, the season has, he's had this injury worries and he's not gotten the same. It is really, really sad day because it is the end of an era. But for me, you just got to celebrate what Sergio brought to this club. I hope that I don't think he'll play in the Premier League, Andy. I really don't. I think he'll be I think he's got a choice between probably Barca, PSG, maybe Juventus, and maybe going home, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's even the likes of Miami with David Beckham. It's just I don't know whether they pay him the money that he potentially wants. I think only the European clubs, even going back to Independiente, it probably mean a significant drop in money. But he would be home, which is, I tell you what, before we look at Sergio's career at City and talk about the goals, let's look at the clubs he could possibly go to. And we'll put the question in the comments here. I'll put a question here. I've put on here, who do you think he will leave City to go to? So you guys, give us your comments. Who do you think Sergio is going to leave Manchester? Because we know he's leaving now, officially. Who do you think he's going to go to? And there are loads of clubs. I agree with you. I don't think it will be a Premier League club. I don't think he'd do that to City. I really don't. Which means there's the European clubs now. You've got all the big ones like Juve. I don't know whether they'll be interested. Big rumours for the last few weeks have been Inter Milan, PSG. Barcelona has obviously been the one. Ross mentioned it a few weeks ago on the FNS, saying it would make perfect sense for him to go to Barcelona if Messi stays there. And it does seem like the logical thing. How much money he'd be on at Barca, I don't know. But they're gonna have to get rid of some serious players anyway this summer. Likes of Real Madrid are going to have to do the same and get a load of money off the wage bill. So 250, 300 grand a week for Sergio at Barcelona, I don't think it'd be a big deal for them. And then you've got the likes of Inter Miami with David Beckham. Though that'd be a surprise because he could have gone played at New York City FC things, so I can't see that happening. And then the other one is going back to where his son is. His son lives in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, and he would be back where he'd be able to see his son every day and every week and that type of thing, and go back to Independiente. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Chris? And we'll what people think in the comments.
I think Barca and PSG are probably the two that I think are favourites to get him. I think if Mbappe's on the move, if Real Madrid can stump up that kind of cash for him, that is, then I think he'd be a good replacement. I think he'd smash the French league, that's for sure. And I think that it'd be
would help if I spelt leave right.
So I think Barcelona seems like an obvious choice, but I wouldn't be surprised if PSG and maybe Juve as an outsider.
John Grogan thinks it's going to be Barca. Charlie says I'm saying Barca. Michael's on high and near. Chris, so sad to hear Sergio's leaving, but he's just been brilliant for us. I felt the same when David Silva, 2 miles, our favourite players and the best in the future. Yeah, for Sergio, yeah. Kamal thinks, I think he'll end up at Barca. Does a player like Aguero at his wage worry about money now? I don't think it matters, Paul, because I don't think that's the case. Otherwise, if he didn't worry about money, I think City would keep him for another year, personally. So if he won't care about money, he went, okay, well, I'll take 100 grand a week then. I think City would offer him 100 grand a week for another year. But I just don't think that's the case. Reading in between the lines of some journals and things like that, I think a lot of it has been down to City potentially offering him a lesser wage if he wants to stay another year, and maybe he's decided no, and it's his choice to do that. He's given us 10 years, 10 amazing years. But
it could be. I read somewhere about him wanting to be guaranteed #1 striker next season, and maybe if City are after, we are by the looks of it after a new striker, it isn't going to be somebody who's going to be sat on the bench. It's going to be, So maybe that is what Sergio might have a bit of a sort of like, well, you're not happy about. I want more game time. So.
Yeah, and there'll be that as well. I totally agree. Lenny thinks Inter Miami. Kurt thinks Barca or Atletico. That's a shout. Maybe Atletico. Suarez. Maybe going back home. Maybe
swap him with Felix.
Well,
swap him for João Felix.
I can't swap him because we haven't got any money for him. we could have signed him on a 5-year extended contract, couldn't we? And then maybe swapped him for Felix, but I don't think that's going to happen now. There's a rumour about Inter. Yeah, I think Inter are showing some interest. Probably Barca. Marlon thinks it's going to be Barca or Boca. Ooh, don't think that's going to happen somehow. Think he will go to Barca, says Tyrone. Connor thinks it's going to be Barcelona. Barcelona with Messi. Marlon thinks Barca section. Didn't he always say that he'd go back to Independiente after playing at City? He did, but I think maybe he was thinking he might have had a couple of more at City beyond his 10-year period, but that's been cut short. And let's face it, he's 32. It's going to be 33 in the summer. He's probably still at some club could possibly still bang in some goals in a crapper league than the Premier League, a slower league where he don't have to run as much and press as much. La Liga, PSG would be, he'd bang in 20 plus goals a season, definitely there.
Easy, yeah.
Let's hope it at least Leeds United, says Tim Smith. In your dreams, buddy. Hey, you never know. You never know. It could be your new Mark Viduka. Rest in peace, Claude, says Ray firmly. Thank you very much, mate. Eddie Brownhill. Some may say the end of an era, but they say beginning of another. Absolutely, it always is, Eddie. Always is. Could Barca afford its wages? I'm sure they could if they offloaded the likes of Coutinho. They'd only need to offload Coutinho. One player. And he's on massive wages.
Yeah.
There's your Sergio, isn't it? Barcelona are back to Independiente, says City Essex. He will go to Barca, says Iota Fierce. Mark Blue back home to Argentina, he reckons. Ryan says, can't afford to carry Sergio in the season. Still legend, though. Barcelona, no brainer. Inter Milan, thinks Dale. Edric at Washington says, if Messi stays, then Barca, PSG or Inter or Lukaku leaves. Scott Williams says, City have given Kun the option, probably came down to Pep and perhaps as pay-as-you-play contract. This club gives the players the respect they deserve if they have put in the hard miles. Yeah, maybe this is the thing we don't really know, do we? Michael said, very sad to hear about Claude, top bloke, massive Arsenal fan, love his club. Like us, my thoughts are with his family and friends. Thank you. Duke says, I wouldn't mind Felix. I'd like Felix as well. It's a great player. Lenny says, PSG got rid of Cavani and Barca got rid of Suarez. Why would PSG and Barca want a 33-year-old? That's a good point. That's a fair point. Aguero could play in a Sunday league team. Gary Holden says, Pep should play him now. Sergio will show Pep what he's missing, like David Silva. We'll see. We'll see. Martin says, 91 on. Come on, guys. Get these lights up for the legends statues soon to come for Andy and Chris. Yeah. In our dreams. Thank you, Sir Aguero, for all. From Nabil from Algeria. Thank you very much. Noah says, let Aguero join Sociedad and reunite. That would be good, wouldn't it? Eh? That'd be interesting. Yeah. Andy Mills is on Evening Blues. How are you, mate? Up Jacks Lee says, Kurt, swap for Rafinha. Oh, yeah, but we can't swap him, mate, because he's not got a contract. Hello, Blues. Just came to good streaming. Like, I'll watch back tomorrow because I'm busy having a few pints of the black stuff with my brother. Enjoy, Jack Lee. All the best, mate. 88 people on. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much, Charlie. And Tim, I'll take Rafinha. That boy is ice cold. He's a very good player. Very good player. Right. On to, let's just take a quick look at, obviously, Sergio's statement came out and he said, when a cycle comes to an end and many sensations arise, a huge sense of satisfaction and pride remains in me for having played with Manchester City for a whole 10 seasons. Unusual for a professional player this day and age. 10 seasons with major achievements throughout, which I was able to become the top historic goal scorer and forging an indestructible bond with all those who love this club. People who will always be in my heart. I was to join during the reconstruction era of 2011, and with the guidance of the owners and the contributions of many players, we earned a place among the greatest of the world. The task to maintain this well-deserved privileged position will remain on others. As for myself, I will continue to give it my utmost for the rest of the season to win more titles and bring more joy to the fans. Then, a new stage with new challenges will begin, and I am fully ready to face them with the same passion and professionalism that I have always dedicated to continue competing at the highest level. Now, one thing I did hear today, and I've heard it numerous times, Chris, is everybody knows him for what he did or done on the pitch and has done and still will do for Manchester City, but nobody really knows him off the pitch. He's one of those players nobody really knows much about him.
No, he's quite a bloke, isn't he? He sort of, I know he does a lot online. I don't watch any of that, so I couldn't tell you. But he seems a bit of a recluse, really.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really give interviews, despite the fact that he supposes he speaks a lot better English than he ever lets on. Yeah. You know, I think he's used that to sort of, and that's fair enough. David Silva didn't give many interviews either. You know, there are players like that, you know, who are fantastic footballers, but you don't get much out of them. I think, just Sergio does his speaking on the pitch, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to it today, and I think Micah Richards mentioned something as well, and there were several others mentioning things saying he used to just leave training, go home, back to his apartment, and then back to his house when he moved from the city centre and play PlayStation, do his online stuff, football stuff, and you never heard a bad word. It's never caused a single problem. There was the issue in Amsterdam, wasn't there, with that car crash in that taxi.
Yeah.
But that wasn't his fault. I mean, it was a taxi driver crashed the car. But apart from that, like David Silva, you heard nothing. You heard absolutely. This is possibly the greatest overseas striker ever to play in the Premier League. Not a peep. No drama. No nothing. Everyone says he's an absolute gem on the pitch. He's an absolute dream off the pitch. He's such a nice guy. That's rare. That is rare.
It is, and like you say, David Silva's another one, and Zaba. You know, we've bought these some of these players who've really caused very little. Yeah, Vinny, very. You know, even Yaya's stuff is so trivial. It's just you know. Yeah, and that was something that it kind of reminds me, going back for when we were signing Sergio and David and people like that, was the banners that went up saying, you know, we sign legends, you sign mercenaries, and then 10 years later, they you know, David's going and Vinny's going. They never came for, well, they might have come for the money, I'm not so sure, but they got right involved in what was the project that was called, and did their best for us, you know, and as fans, you know, the players that like those two especially, you couldn't have wanted anything more out of them, because like you say, they never brought any dirt to the club or anything like that, just consummate professionals.
Yeah. I mean, he was. I mean, I've heard tributes from all sorts of players last night, today, and you know, they can't speak highly enough of him. I mean, Micah Richards did an article in the Mail about him, saying that the first day he turned up for the first couple of days he turned up for training, Micah was laughing his head off, going, "What the hell have we just signed?" He said he did absolutely nothing on the training pitch, and then he said to him, you know, what's this all about? You know, what's this? And he went, "It's all about what I do on the pitch. I do it on the pitch." And then he went and scored 2 goals against Swansea. And Mike said, "That's all I needed to know." And from then on, nobody questioned his, you know, how his training methods were or anything, because for him, it was all about once he crossed that white line, that's where he did his business, and he's done it. You know, we only have to let's look at some of the stats. I mean, here you go. 257 goals for Man City, club record. So, I mean, this is in 10 years. 181 goals in the Premier League, fourth on the all-time list behind Alan Shearer, 260, Wayne Rooney, 208, and Andy Cole, 187. But we have to remember their Premier League goals. 10 trophies won at City, 4 Premier Leagues, 1 FA Cup, 5 League Cups. He scored 257 goals in 384 appearances. I mean, that is absolutely frightening. They're frightening things.
That is a hell of a goal, you know, especially in English football. That's incredible.
That is unbelievable.
And it's not just that, Andy. It's the fact, because I think I saw something on Twitter today about how many times he gets subbed. It's the goals per minute he gets. It's just way ahead of everyone else. It's a phenomenal strike rate.
He's got the most hat-tricks in the Premier League, I think. 16 hat-tricks. I think that is the most hat-tricks in the Premier League. 93-20, a time of his most infamous goal, obviously, is on there. But I was... somebody had posted something about greatest strikers earlier, and it was quite interesting and quite ironic. Over the last couple of days, I think it was today, Tuesday? It might have been Sunday. I came across I've never ever listened to it before. I came across the Match of the Day podcast with Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, Micah Richards. And I listened to one of the recent podcasts, and it's actually really, really good listen. But because I went on the list, I thought, oh, what other podcasts have they done? Didn't realise they did podcasts. And I went scrolling down. One of them were the greatest moments in Premier League history, 93-20. They all voted. It wasn't Alan. It wasn't Micah Richardson. It was Ian Wright, Shearer, and Lineker. But then they were talking about best overseas goal scorers that come into the Premier League, and obviously Shearer has got 260, whatever it is that he's got, and Wayne Rooney was just close behind him, 200 odd or whatever, and they were voting for him. And Shearer, even Shearer, he said, "Well, obviously I put me in there because I've got the most, but if I had to put a number one, the number one would be Sergio Aguero." Ian Wright was umming and ahhing about Thierry Henry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But as the overseas one,
yeah.
He said, but Shearer said, I can't because I'm not overseas. But obviously, I'm the top all-time scorer. I'd put Aguero, and Ian Wright was going, oh, there's got to be an argument over Thierry Henry and blah blah blah. But even Gary Lineker went, Sergio Aguero is just deadly. It's just absolutely deadly. Look at his goal-to-game ratio. It's phenomenal. And I think Shearer and Lineker both put Aguero as the best overseas goal scorer in Premier League history. And he's at Manchester City. Yeah. And we got him for 32 million quid.
Yeah. What a bargain, mate. I think I haven't got anything derogatory to say about Thierry Henry. I thought he was terrific footballer. Wonderful. And yeah, him and Sergio, without a doubt, are the two standout overseas players, strikers in the Premier League era. I think Drogba was a good player as well. I don't quite have him on the same level, but Sergio's just been. I mean, this season he's had a quiet season, but it's the consistency of scoring, 20 plus goals a season. It's incredible, just a wonderful player, mate. And there is that. I think, I know your favourite player is David Silva. Mine's Pablo, but we all know the icon of this club is Sergio Aguero. He's the one. He's the icon. He had that iconic moment. And, it's some of the goals that he scored, Andy, are just. It's like got dynamite in his boots. Just
we're going to come to the goals, best goals shortly. Let me just go back to some of the one bluff said United should get him over my dead body. I thought, United like he would ever go to United. It ain't happening. How many pens did he score for us? I heard Andy Colon scored one pen. I think Noel Gallagher said this morning, didn't he? He said if only he could score penalties because he said I could see him in the Champions League fight. I think Noel Gallagher said on TalkSport, I can see him getting the Champions League final and he goes up to take it for a penalty. I somehow are in the ground and I'll run on the pitch and put him in a deadlock and say, no, you're not taking it. Give it back.
That's very harsh.
It is, considering he has scored a lot of penalties, but yeah, he has missed a few as well. Henry and Shearer don't lay a glove on Aguero. I mean, Shearer was phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal.
It's all right to like the player who plays for your club more than that's absolutely fine. Because he's given you the moments that you've enjoyed more. But you can't really dismiss Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer as footballers. They're fantastic.
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, it's split between Shearer and Rooney. You've got and Aguero. You've got Rooney as well. Rooney scoring bags of goals. But when you look at the goal to game ratio, Sergio Aguero is right up there. And they were talking actually interesting. They were talking about Harry Kane and saying, do you think Harry Kane will break Sergio's and maybe Rooney's and they all thought no because of too many injuries. They don't think he'll get enough games in the next few years to be able to break Sergio or Rooney or Shearer's record. So
yeah, well, we'll see. But yeah, Harry Kane's a great finisher.
He's a great finisher. One thing is for sure, Sergio won't be short of office now. I mean, he's picked, can't he? Aguero, true legend, says Alec Johnson. He is. They'll happen Jesus strikers next season if we don't sign Haaland. Interesting. I think rumours are today that Real Madrid has shown up sniffing around Liam Delap. I don't know whether that's just bollocks. But anyway, Henry was special, let's be real, but Sergio better goal scorer. Henry was special to watch. Loved him sticking it to United. Henry was a super player. Absolutely superb. I used to like Shearer at Blackburn. He was great at Newcastle as well. If you haven't gone, go over and listen to the Match of the Day podcast. They're really, really interesting because they're swearing and everything on it. All right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. They have to bleep it out because they're innocent.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the Micah Richards one was really interesting because he tells about Roy Keane on the last one. It's really, really never come across it before. And when you scroll down, you've got like best games of the season. 93-20 was voted the best ever Premier League game by the guys. Sorry if I'm giving it away. But they do the top 10s of everything. And some of the debates and stories like the biggest hard men's in football, that was really interesting. I'll give you the winner. It was Duncan Ferguson. But go over and listen to them. They're really, really interesting. Chris, it's April Fool's in 2 days, mate. Any jokes about? There you go. Shearer and Henry are Premier League greats on time with Aguero. I totally agree. Ming Wong. Right, on to Sergio goals. We'll finish off tonight on Sergio Aguero goals. I mean, I wrote down off the top of my head the goals I can remember. Now, I'm sorry, I may have missed some. I was just quickly before I came on, I was thinking goals. What do I remember? Now, I'll ask you first, and I'll see if one of yours is on here. So, obviously, we're going to discount the 93-20 because it is so obvious that it's the greatest goal scored in Premier League history. There's no argument with that whatsoever.
Nope.
It is the greatest goal. Alan Shearer, Ian Wright, they all say the same thing. It's the greatest game ever in the Premier League, and it's the greatest finish to the Premier League ever. So we'll discount the 93-20 goal. But what about other goals that he scored for Manchester City? Any jump out? So I'll put it up here before you answer. Greatest Sergio goals. There you go. So, what are your memories?
Well, there's a lot to choose from. So, but what you got to say about Sergio is that he did it against everyone, didn't he? He wasn't a flat track bully.
Yeah,
so I think any goal that he got against United has to sort of stand out. But I think the one that against them that really stands out is the Phil Jones one, the Phil Jones face, and I think it's just for that
when he mugged him off.
Yeah, they mugged him off in that face, that scary Phil Jones face. Although the one he got when he blasted it past De Gea was, wow, what a finish! When
he ran across the box, 3-4 players, and then banged it in the top. That is on. Yeah, is that on mine? Yeah, it's on my list there. Yeah,
he scored a similar goal against Liverpool as well, didn't he? At the Etihad, where from an impossible angle.
He did. Yeah,
and he smashed it in, and he scored another one against Pepe Reina, didn't he? From an even tighter angle, where he sort of
that's on my from the corner flag. That's on my list as well. That was an incredible goal when he made the most perfect run, nicked the ball around Reina, and then curled it into from the most impossible angle. Sorry, I put that up there so I know where I'm at. On there, that was great. That was a great goal as well. Any others?
I think the second in his debut, thought that was a really good finish. That was like, well, that game in itself. I think did he come on for Nigel de Jong? I think he did. I think it was Nigel de Jong who came on for against Swansea. and in that space of time, he scored the first goal. Micah crossed to him, set up David Silva. Yeah, David Silva with that flick back that was going over.
Yeah.
And then he blasted in that second again. You know, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant debut. That was what we got from him. I think another goal that really stands out for me was when we played Chelsea a couple of seasons back.
Yeah.
In the sixth.
Which one? Because I've got two.
Well,
there was the left footer into the corner. There was the one in left foot into the corner, and then there was the right foot into the top corner.
Yeah, I think it was the right foot that made me jump up like a nutter at the stage. Because I mean, what a game that was! You know, to absolutely dick Chelsea like we did that day. But that goal was just like, what a banger! I mean, there's been so many, absolutely so many.
Well, you've pulled 5 out of mine. Oh no, you haven't. Sorry. No, yeah, you picked 5 out of mine. I've got 2 against Watford. The one where he dribbles round everyone and dinks it over the keeper, and then the one where he chips it. I've got the Leicester City one that he blasts over the top of Schmeichel, hits the crossbar.
Yeah.
I've got the Newcastle one that he bangs into the top corner. I've got the Norwich one where he's almost stationary inside the box and he beats about 3 players. He just hits it with his toe, which is just amazing. And then for me, I've put 93-20, and this is my second one. Was the one against Norwich when Tevez did the little back heel to him, and it bounces, but he just hits it on the volley straight into the top corner. I mean, that was the back heel wasn't even along the floor. It bounced and it bounced up, but he just got his foot right over it perfectly. And you're thinking, what a technique! Because that is not. If that was on the floor, you go, yeah, great goal. But the way that Tevez back-heeled it, he bounced up, but he still got his body in an angle that he followed it so perfectly into that top corner. And it was just a brilliant move.
Yeah. But in fact, was it the Sunderland where he absolutely levered it and on the whole goal, it sort of lifted. It was like, yeah. Just.
Well, I just picked 10 there, but I'm sure I've missed. I'm definitely sure I've missed them.
Of course.
Let's see what some of the others think on here. One shot Dick, I think Henry are a better player, but Sergio best striker for me. With Shearer goal machines, Henry was a super player. Those Match Day podcasts you talk about were shown on Match Day special on TV during the first lockdown with it. I didn't see him, Neil. Watching Sergio versus Newcastle, I was getting a goal or 2. Remember, he scored 5.
5 against Newcastle, wasn't
it? Kane to Watcher Delap. Sergio scored 44 career pens in 56. I think he missed 12. Not a great ratio, that, when you look at Balotelli and and loads of others. Hate to see that he leaves. Really loved him, club legend. I think Aguero scored more goals than Rooney in 105 games. He has done in total games. Manchester is red. What would you know? Title decider. Nothing will match that. Aguero goal versus United 4-1 game. It was a cracker. Absolute cracker. Son is the best player at Tottenham. Harry Kane is a great goal scorer, but he hasn't got the skills that Son has. Son's a great player. He is a great player. Right. Ashen Fake Mans. Ashen Fake.
That was Mr. Manchester is red.
Oh, right. Okay. Was that what that was?
Yeah.
Liverpool at home from the tightest of angles. It was a great goal. Aguero versus United, says MCFC Nathan. Another great goal. The 1 millimeter goal to basically defend the title against Burnley.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that when we're talking about important goals. I mean, that was. So let's face it, wasn't his nicest goal he's ever scored, but it was one of the most important.
That was such a tough game, wasn't it?
Oh, it was horrendous, that game. It was so frustrating. Aguero versus Liverpool, then both games near post over the goalkeeper. Yeah. The Aguero hat-trick versus Bayern. Ray Fernley, Liverpool home the tight angle. Hugh Agnew, his Liverpool tight angle finish. Everyone liking that Liverpool one. Chelsea 6-0, smacked it outside the box. There were two from outside the box, and that one was a cracker as well. The Chelsea hat-trick versus hat-trick, the 5 versus Newcastle, sorry. Apart from that, 3-20 goal, the best that comes to mind is the vicious one he scored in the 5-1 against Leicester. The one that hit the crossbar, Neil, yeah, over the top of Schmeichel. Swansea debut. It was a brilliant, that second goal in particular was a brilliant finish. But then, like Chris said, you know, he had that tap-in. Well, tap-in, it was a tap-in from Micah's cross. But then he set up David with that little flick back. And then, what a finish. I mean, any other game, you go, that's a great finish. Because he was really far out when he hit that money in that Swansea game.
Yeah.
The 2 goals versus Swansea on his debut. Chelsea at home, 18-19. The winner against Villarreal was classed the game for the 6-1. One shot, the Liverpool goal at home, 2-1 title winner. It's Liverpool 2-1. Everyone else is agreeing. Liverpool near corner flag. Mad angle. It was a crazy angle. Some people say that was a cross. But he was the only person running. It might have been a cross, who knows? But I think he'd beaten the keeper, and it was a first-time shot. I think he went for it. Aguero goal versus Swansea. I'm assuming it's the second one. Any of his goals versus Man United and Liverpool. Andy Mills goal against Liverpool when he was on the byline and managed to get it in from an impossible angle. Yeah. Jack Lee says second against Swansea is up there. It's definitely 1-1 to get us back in the game against Brighton. Oh,
that was an important goal.
Yeah, important. We're talking about his best goals. We're all gobsmacked to witness a legend pass in front of you for 10 years. Does not happen to many fans. And the goals he scored out of nothing. The one against Liverpool and 2-1 home win in 2019. Yeah, it was amazing, absolutely amazing goal. Massive jump. Sorry, I'm going to have to go back a bit. Scott Williams says Burnley away, just over the line, and all the important equaliser at Brighton to go back. Yeah, absolutely. Jack Lee, that was on my 10th birthday. I still get goosebumps against QPR. Yeah, I think every time you watch it. Actually, the game I went City 3-2, Bayern, Aguero hat-trick. So Charlie's gone for the Aguero hat-trick. All of them, says Dudley. Goal against Watford, Edison, assist. Yeah, it was. That was the one. The Edison one. Wow. We have to win the Champions League now for Sergio. What a legend, said Winston. The bank game that season, he carried us. Yes, Chris, it was Nigel de Jong. Ryan says, goal against Norwich with Carlos, top corner. That's the one that was on second on my list. Goal versus Arsenal in the League Cup final. The Eddie assist, stands out. The little nudge in the back. We were there. We were there. We were there, that one. We had a good laugh over that little nudge in the back. Second goal against Chelsea was both goals. Those 2 goals against Chelsea, one in each corner, were amazing. Day after we won against QPR, horrible Everton fan teacher didn't allow me to talk about the match to prevent United fans from getting upset. The put through by Silva Sergio. Oh, that was that Bournemouth? No, Wigan. It was Wigan, wasn't it? The one where David Silva, was it the one where David, you're talking about that one? The one where David Silva did the little in and out, and then played. Sergio played it around. I think that was against Wigan, Linny. That was a great. I mean, that was more about David Silva than Sergio, but still. Oh, fair shout, the Munchen game. One chop says that was a bit of a foul, wasn't it, Kurt? Great goal, though. Andy Mills says, goal to make it 3-2 against Bayern Munich after being 1-2 down about 5 years ago. Another good shout. Let's not forget, before that goal in City just shows monster mentality. Home, Leicester beat Michael. That was the shot, yeah. HC that he leaves, really loved him. He was a club legend, true goal scoring machine. It was an honour to have him. It definitely is. What a night that was, mate. 5 goals against Newcastle up there. Yeah, I mean, he was just phenomenal that day, wasn't he? And he was absolutely good. He got hauled off, didn't he? And he was absolutely because he thought he could have 6 or 7 here.
Oh yeah, I think
breaking the record.
About 60 minutes on it that game. I think did he get 4 against Tottenham as well, didn't he? Brilliant, man.
But that I think the record was 6, wasn't it? And he could have broke the record. And the way that game was going, thinking, he's going to get 6 or 7 easily, and then yanked off after 5, and you're thinking he was like devastated. He scored a bullet away at Sunderland, but so it's picked from Lee. That was I think Chris mentioned about the Sunderland goal. Could be here all night, lads. Yeah, we could do.
It's true.
Hope he scores at least 7 more goals for us. Yeah, let's hope so. There's one in the UEFA Champions League against Spurs near side. Alex says, Aguero, Vinny, David Silva, Zabaleta are our past glory legends. City are only going to get fresh young blood. We win more trophies. We've got to move on. Villa, last season away, I think it was first of the hat-trick from outside the area. That was a cracker. That was a cracker against Villa. Some boots to Phil, whoever comes in.
True.
This is Man United 2013, the match winner 2-1. Yeah, that's common. Jesus said he will become a proper striker. We'll wait and see. Aguero says Luciano Martinez. All his goals against the Rags. Gabriel Jesus or Aguero. Sergio Aguero all day long, mate. Remember Shearer scoring against us all the time, even after 20 seconds. I'm glad we sent Aguero to set the record straight. Sergio's Lim Blue says Sergio's hat-trick versus Bayern. It's a common, that's a popular one. Popular one. Goal against Burnley at Turf Moor. Mentioned that as well, Andy Milnes. Yeah, it was Ralford in at the near post. He did. Hope when fans come back, we have a testimonial. Let's hope so. Also, Burnley at home hit from power such a tight angle. He did that on so many occasions, though, didn't he? You can take Sergio away from City, but you can't take away the happy memories. Absolutely, Ray Fernley. Everyone forgetting we're top of the league without Sergio. I don't think anyone's forgetting it. We're talking about Sergio, not about where Man City. I want to talk about Manchester City per se, Alec. We're talking about Sergio and what he's done for Manchester City. And giving him a bit of due respect. As it stands, you're absolutely right. Let's face it, we played with various false nines and Gabby as a 9 and whatever else this season. And we are 14 points clear as it stands at the moment. I haven't seen a player that has galvanised the team so much than Aguero has. He's a killer, a beast among men, a viper. Such a talented player. Let's win the UEFA Champions League for him. Do it for Kun, says Mubarak. Let's hope so, mate. Goal versus Arsenal League Cup final when he turned Mustafi and chipped the keeper. Yeah, it was that nice little. He didn't turn him. He gave him a little nudge in the back, which was quite clever. What was Sergio's best hat-trick? Oh, that's a tough one. Maybe. I think the Newcastle goals. Some of the Newcastle goals were brilliant finishes.
I think the Bayern one probably is for me. But yeah,
it's important.
Yeah, but yeah, just a wonderful player, and we've been so lucky to have him. And yeah, we're all going to be a little bit gutted, obviously, but I think we're all sort of reasonable enough to reason to know why he's going, and maybe the announcement that it is early is going to add some motivation to finish the season off for the rest of the squad.
Let's hope so, because these lot are winning nothing anyway, are they? What a shite team they are this year. Excuse FC. That's all they are. And especially with Salah going. Salah's not happy with Klopp, is he? So he's on his way out. So good luck for next season, Liverpool. Good evening, FIFA M. How are you? Charles Berg, can't hear you from down here. Jazzy for live stream of Barca. Don't know what that means. Prince Hablamami, come on Chelsea. Come to Chelsea. Sorry, that was Charlie Everett Chainsaw. Yeah, get it out. Yeah, Wigan. Am I that far behind now? It was Wigan. There's so many comments.
Yeah. They will be, Andy, because this is an emotive subject, isn't it?
Yeah,
and for every single one of us, he's an icon, and
he is.
Has a real special place in our hearts, and that does Sergio Aguero.
He is. We've got them all on tonight, even Barca fans. Well, that's fine, mate. Come on. Aguero says Al Moody. Chris says, "Where's Martin? Bloody lightweight." Chris got the fastest fingers in the West.
That's what the missus says.
I still think we should have kept Samaras. Didn't need Aguero. Yeah. Where is Martin? I've no idea. He loves scoring against United and Spurs. I think we need more mods. I think we're all right.
I don't know if we need more. We just need ones that work.
Yeah. He always scores against United and Spurs. Scott says, from Danny Granville to Sergio, how far we travelled on. He will always be a legend, along with everyone that was lucky enough to pull us on a sky blue shirt. Tafa Dadswa, Rodri, Matt Svagja from Zimbabwe, Bridge. We will miss you, Kun. Thank you very much, mate, for that comment. Sorry if I absolutely chainsaw comment. If Haaland came, I think he will need a haircut. Like Ross says, he'll definitely need a haircut because it's appalling. Absolutely appalling. Tails says, Aguero leaving feels like Kane is happening to me. If Haaland was coming, Aguero would be perfect for a season with him. Kane hits the ground running. Fair point. What are your thoughts on that, Chris? Kane, Aguero, Haaland, Mbappe. We'll quickly talk about who you think might be in the pipeline before we wrap up for Man City, considering that we thought the news might come towards the end of the season, but it hasn't. It's come early, which means you'd have to think that City have got somebody in the pipeline. Or they're confident that they can persuade one or two players to come in. So who do you think it'll be?
I think Haaland is the most obvious. Mbappe would be my dream, Andy. I think he's the best player in the world at the minute, personally. But I just don't think he'll come our way. I think he's destined for Real Madrid. Harry Kane, I think, would suit well at City. I mean, there's parts of Harry Kane's game I do not like. I really don't like some of his parts of his game. But he knows where.
You mean the cheating and the dirty fouls?
I don't. Yeah, the backing into players when in the air. I think it's really low. Really, that penalty that was it against West Ham the other day. Just
it dived in the air.
Yeah, just an absolute joke. But he's good at linking up play, and he knows where the onion bag is. And I think he wouldn't be a bad option. But was he 27? So, and he's injury prone, and it.
I've always said that about Harry Kane. That when people have come up and people we've been discussing transfers and strikers and things for the last sort of 6 months, haven't we, on the Friday night socials and everything else. I've always sort of gone a little bit about the Harry Kane thing, thinking he's getting a bit old and he's this, that, and the other. But I read an article today. And Lewandowski's 32, nearly 33. And he's played his best football in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Scored a shitload of goals for Bayern in the last few years. And what the article was basically intimating was, don't discount Harry Kane because he's 27. If he can he can quite easily overcome some of these niggling injuries. And even if he doesn't, he'll still back you 20 goals plus a season. Yeah. Now, if he overcame his injuries, you're looking in a City team, 30 plus goals in the next 3 years. That's enough to win you a Champions League and another Premier League title, at least. If
Harry Kane came to City, Andy, I wouldn't be disappointed. Let me put it that way. I think he's a decent enough player, and I think as well, Andy. I think he does link up play really well. better than he's given the credit for. You know?
He's a clever. There's no doubt about it. He's a very clever player. He holds the ball up brilliantly.
Yeah.
He's good. Yeah, and one thing it will add is the aerial goals. One thing we've massively missed, haven't we? For years and years and years. Since Dzeko, we've had nobody really as the amount of crosses we've been putting in the last few years into the box. We had nobody who's been on the end of them because Jesus doesn't do that. Sergio has scored some headers, but he's not naturally that way inclined. And Kane scores tons of headers, loads, but he scores outside the box, inside the box, scores penalties, scores free kicks. I wouldn't be disappointed with Harry Kane, I must admit. So is that who you think you're going for? You think it could be?
I think Haaland is the most obvious, but we're going to have to pay big money to get him. But if we choose to throw all our eggs in one basket, I could live with that, Andy. I kind of agree. I think left back, although we still haven't really got a reliable, proper left back, we've done well, really. I think Zinchenko's played brilliant this season. So I could, if we're going to throw all our eggs in one basket, go and get Haaland, and I'll live another season without a left back. I tell you who I don't want. I don't want Lukaku, who I keep mentioning coming up. I mean, some of the City fans I've seen mention it are like, did you not watch him at United? I just don't see him as a pet player at all. And I see Lautaro Martinez's name come up as well. And I can't really have too much of a go because I haven't seen enough of him. But his stats don't suggest he's a Sergio replacement.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I just put up on there, don't want another injury-prone forward at City, says Rowan. Obviously talking about Harry Kane. I'm just pulling up his stats here. 2018-19 season, he played 40 games, scored 24 goals, and got 6 assists. The 19-20 season, he played 34 games, got 24 goals and 2 assists.
Mm-hmm. So
far this season, he's played 40 games and got 27 goals and 16 assists.
Wow.
Does that suggest an injury-prone striker?
I knew that he'd had more assists this season. I didn't realise it was that many. And yes, you're right, Andy.
This season, he's played 27 Premier League games, 5 in Europa League, 5 in the qualifying games, 3 in the EFL Cup, and 2 in the FA Cup. 40 games, 27 goals, 16 assists, 3,172 minutes.
And he's homegrown, which is a big deal.
Right. England captain, you get all the additional.
Yeah.
As much as we hate when we say, if it was anyone else, it'd be a red card. If it was anyone else, it'd be a yellow card, and it does get a bit of favouritism. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether it'll be Haaland, it'll be Kane, whatever. But I'm just saying, just in reply to Ryan saying, I don't want another injury-prone forward. I've just given you the stats of how many games he's played. Now, if you compare that to Sergio Aguero or many other strikers, that's not bad. I'll take 20-plus goals a season for my striker. And I'll definitely, as it stands right now, 40 games, 27 goals, 16 assists. I'll take that as well, as it stands now. That will be over 30 goals in total competitions this season, easily.
Those stats, mate, are incredible.
Frightening.
That's the high level football, getting those kind of goals and assists, definitely.
27 in 40 games and 16 assists. I'll take that all day long. I will take that all day long. Do we really need a striker? I believe striker could force system change, and I'm really enjoy watching us break down teams very technically in the false nine. That's a good point, Aaron. It is a good point, but I think sometimes for me, that's fine. But I think what we've done is forced us into it. But when you play with a false nine, teams will eventually work you out. You can't play with a false nine all of the time because I think teams will find you out and you know, play a system whereby you haven't got a natural goal scorer. And let's face it, we haven't had a natural Sergio Aguero all season, and we have missed shitload of chances this year. Loads.
And I think as well, Andy, Pep's, you know, you can see he changes things seasons after season. Nothing remains the same because he knows people work him out. So he's looking all the time to find those little bit of improvement or tactical changes, you know, to mess about with the opposition. And I think you want a proper striker this next coming season.
I think you will. How does Haaland get in the City team, though? All right, there's a question for you, Chris. If we were to get Haaland, how do you see the midfield and the forward line if we play at 4-3-3 like we normally do? I know it's fluid and flexible and everything else, but if we had a 4-3-3, who would next season? Who would be your three? Let's imagine Fernandinho leaves, leaves or doesn't get an extended contract. We play a 4-3-3, which I think Pep likes, the 4-3-3, in a fluid one. But who would the 3 and the 3 be then?
I think Rodri and KDB are nailed on, Andy, as in this, and then you can have, you know, the rotating of Bernardo. Let me just get rid of this clown. Gundogan, all these players, you know, they're going to have plenty of game time. But I think in the front three, if you're going to have a Haaland, then I think that could be quite interesting because he's a lad who needs to be given service, really. So Riyad Mahrez might work really well with him. I think Phil Foden certainly would. So yeah, those three across the front, I think, would be fairly good. But then you got Raz, and Raz is definitely going to be involved in most games. So I suppose my ideal, or I think would be a Raz, a Haaland, and hopefully Phil Foden.
Raz on the right, Foden on the left.
Yeah, or they change over in the game.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, I think they both can do it.
With a Rodri, KDB, and Bernardo, Ilkay.
That we are so blessed in terms of, you know, being able to rotate.
Well, you not mentioned Mahrez here. No,
but I said Mahrez could easily play with a Haaland. I think he, you know, could work. Well, listen, Mahrez has been very good this last month. I hope may it continue.
He has. Leg and Sweet, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Andre Silva, 30 mil, good deal, and got some amount of goals as Haaland in the Bundesliga. Yeah, would it be 30 million though? That's the only thing. I don't know whether it would be 30 million. It'd probably be a hell of a lot more now. This is the problem. It's the problem we've got. All clubs know now Sergio Aguero is gone. All clubs know now City are in for a striker. And this is going to be the turning point as to how much is City going to pay and how far are they going to go down the route of, well, we'll pay this, we'll pay that, we'll pay the other, because it's not just the signing on fee, it's not just the purchase fee, it's the wages as well. Now the rumours are City have held off the Raheem Sterling contract talks until the end of the season. That doesn't surprise me because I think that is another reason to suggest they're in contract talks with another striker, with another player, because the rumours are it's going to be 325 grand a week for Sterling. Well, that was what Kevin De Bruyne was on, which means Kevin De Bruyne is going to be on 350, 375, 400. Now we're going to talk of Haaland and bring in likes of a Andre Silva, a Mbappe, a whoever. Or will City look for somebody completely different? and shock everybody like they did with Sergio Aguero and go, we're not going to pay that money. We're not going to break the transfer fee. KDB's a more important player. So is Raz. So is so and so. And we're not going to pay 400 grand a week for Erling Haaland.
I don't think we're paying anything like that for him, mate.
One, we don't know what he's like in the Premier League. He's done it in German football. He might have done it in Champions League against average teams. Maybe they've got somebody else in the pipeline. Who knows? Because let's face it, when Sergio Aguero came, we all knew that he played for Atletico Madrid, but we didn't think he was going to be what he's turned out to be. And maybe City have got somebody else in mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows, mate?
Who knows? And that is it. Charlie says, go on.
Yeah, I was pretty much. I think what Charlie's saying here was that all summer it was Koulibaly, and then Diaz came in. So was it a smoke screen or was it the fact, that we just got fed up of dealing with Napoli? Whatever the reason was, it was Koulibaly who was coming. We were insistent about it, and then it was Ruben Diaz, and thank God it was.
Yeah, he's been absolutely amazing. Martin was very pleased. I've seen Andre Silva a lot, and he doesn't impress me. There you go. So, very sad of what happened today. Very passionate Arsenal fan died. His name's Claude. Yeah, we mentioned it earlier, mate. Alec Johnson, Fernandinho will be the last of our greats. Yeah, he will. But we will definitely have more to come. Danny Ings. Let's get Danny Ings in.
Do you know what, Andy? I'd like him
as a backup striker. If he's happy to do that.
And I think do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if listen. I don't expect him to be coming in as Kun's replacement, not at all.
No.
But I think he's a sort of player who would quite happily take whatever matches he got, because I think most of these players, certainly when you get sort of Danny Ings' age, and he's a decent finisher, decent footballer, but you want to win things.
That's the thing. That's the key to it. That's the key to it is, well, if I can go and I can play 20 games a season, Premier League and cup competitions, and I can win a Premier League trophy, or I can win a League Cup or an FA Cup or a Champions League, even whatever. That opportunity is never, ever going to happen where he is now. It just isn't. So, and
that's the same with Harry Kane, Andy, isn't it? Is he going to ever win?
Of course it is.
Tottenham?
That I was talking about the Match of the Day podcasts on when they were talking about strikers, some best strikers in the Premier League. Harry Kane, there were Ian Wright and Alan Shearer last year. This was May last year, I think it was. Or March last year. On that episode, they were saying, if Tottenham don't win anything this season, Harry Kane should leave Spurs after this season. He's only going to have one more season. He has to go. If Spurs don't show any chances of winning the Premier League or any major competition, not just a Carabao Cup or a League Cup or an FA Cup or something, he wants to be a Premier League winner. And Shearer said, I know what that feels like. And I absolutely agree. If he doesn't win anything major with Spurs this season, which is now, he can see Harry Kane leaving in the summer of this year. But that was last year.
You can see it with whenever that they're on together, that they'll wind up Shearer, won't they? On Match of the Day or on a thing where you never won this one, have you, Alan? And you can see it gets to him because
he does. He says,
far too good of a player to have won as little as he did, really,
Yeah. Well, one Premier League trophy with Blackburn, and he had that chance to go to United and turned him down and went back to Newcastle. And he has to leave this summer if he doesn't win anything. And as it stands at the moment, he might win a Carabao Cup against us, but they're not winning anything else. They're winning nothing else. Nothing. His time is running out.
Yeah, and the only thing Kane really has got are personal goals, haven't they? Like beating, I think, probably Jimmy Greaves' record at Spurs and, being Spurs' most, best ever striker, I suppose. But
the thing is, Chris, if he's scoring those type of numbers at Spurs, and you look at Spurs versus Manchester City goals
per season over the last 10 years. Let's say 8 years since he's been a full-time regular, or 9 years. No, when was it? 20? He was 22, wasn't he? So 5, 6 years when he was a regular at Spurs. How many goals would he score at City?
He would get a shed full, mate.
Absolute bag full. And I know you can say Haaland will get this, and I understand that. But, I mean, Kane is proven in the Premier League. That's the one thing.
The shadow, yeah.
He's proven. And if you think how many chances City create and how many goals Kane does score and how many chances City create compared to what Spurs create and how many he scores, he would get an absolute shitful of goals if he was at Man City.
He really would, mate. And I think another thing to take into consideration is if Jose doesn't move on for this summer and he stays as top, I can't see Harry Kane enjoying playing for Jose. I really can't.
He don't look happy now, does he?
No.
He really doesn't. It feels like City finalised the Aguero situation in the cold talks with Dortmund when we play them. Maybe. Linney, he's 30. Ings, is he? I thought it's 28, 29. Maybe it's 30.
Like 29.
Pep could make my grandma play football. He's a motivating genius. What just go for? Oh no, Aubameyang. I think you meant PA. Maybe. Aaron says, I really do rate Ings. I just feel as though we need a marquee signing like Haaland, Mbappe, or Kane. Sir Alan's on. How are you, buddy? Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Sergio, for what you've done for Manchester City and for all the 254 goals. Thanks, Sergio, for giving me the best moment of my life. You made me fly back home 10,000 miles to see you score it. There you go. Thank you, buddy. Hope you're well, Alan. And yeah, imagine flying 10,000 miles and see that game. Amazing. Can't see Kane going to United. They already got Rashford, Greenwood, and Cavani. Good to see Gail. Please, you comment on my photo about Aguero yesterday. Really? Well done, you.
Name dropper.
Hey, he's a right name dropper, that Charlie Everett. To go aggro boo Barca. Will Daniel Levy let him go? I think he will. If Kane, I'll be honest with you. I think if Kane said, "I want to leave," Levy will let him go at the right price for Levy. That's the problem. That is the problem. I don't know. I don't know how many. I don't even know how many years he's got left on his contract. Can you bring it up?
I don't actually. Yeah, no idea. But Levy will sell for the right price. He sold Kyle Walker to us. You know.
Yeah.
He will sell.
Just trying to see whether I can bring up what his stats are. 2021. I think it's got 2 years left. Is it 2 years left? I think maybe. So he'll want a shed load. He'll want a shed load of money, and I think because it's English, you probably. I mean, Mingyu Wong says Kane will cost 170 million this summer to get him. Possibly, yeah, possibly. I think we'll sign Martinez from Inter. His contract ends in 2023. His transfer fee is in line with what we paid Max 70 million. City don't break records in terms of transfer fee. No Kane, too old. Frankie says, do you think Delap is ready to be backup striker? Yes, but to a top-class striker, not, like you said, a backup striker. Yeah, maybe. But that's all he'll be. He'll be a backup striker. I don't know, Chris, you've seen an awful lot of Liam Delap.
He's another player, mate, who's got a very promising future. He certainly knows how to score a goal. Whether he's going to make it right at the very top level, that we'll only find out in time, Andy. And there's a couple of parts of his game he needs to improve on. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him either continuing the EDS next season, because remember, he's only still a real young lad.
Yeah.
Or he might go out on loan, which might serve him better, as like Taylor Howard Bellis has done.
Where would you suggest? Do you think it'll be staying in the Premier League like a Jack Harrison at Leeds, or do you think maybe go to the feeder clubs like Breda with Luis Fiorini and some of the others?
Send him to Stoke. No, see where his dad used to play.
Would that tough him up?
Well, I think he does not need toughening up.
I was going to say, would he end up with like 25 red cards a season?
Probably. I don't know. I think a loan spell in the Championship is a because where is Jack Shepherd? He went to Championship Leeds, didn't he? And has come up.
Yeah,
for a
and then come up.
Jack Harrison. I think he wouldn't. I think the Championship's the place for young lads. Same with Taylor Howard-Bellis now, to learn your trade down there.
Yeah.
Without that kind of Premiership pressure, especially as a striker.
I think I'm totally with you on these type of things. I mean, Foden was a one-off, and I think I've for 2-3 years now I've said, leave Pep. Pep knows what he's doing. Pep does not want this kid to go on loan. He needs him to be around the likes of David Silva and Sergio Aguero and the Yaya Torres, and he needs him to develop and learn from the best players in the world. And I've never had any doubts that Foden would go on loan. But I do think sometimes with the likes of a Taylor Howard-Bellis and other players, they're not quite at the level of a Foden, and that could not always, but could just accelerate it maybe 20-30%, that there may be a chance in the future for them to come back to City.
Yeah, Foden is different gravy. He has got the ability to be, whoever he wants to be. He'll carve out a great path. I'm sure he will. As long as he stays injury free. But he doesn't seem that sort of player. Foden different kettle of fish altogether. And he's the icon for the academy, isn't he? There is a route into that first team, not build sort of thing. So
well, he is. He's one of those that there you go. If you're good enough, he's now almost guaranteed to be a regular starter at the Euros. That's his try. And let's not forget, a year ago, we were talking with people who were wanting him to go on loan, and we were talking about with people that thinking maybe he needs a bit of more time, and maybe he needs. Pep's absolutely managed his progress, absolutely spot on, perfectly, absolutely amazing, and could see his pathway. And I think we have to trust because I read it all over, Twittered it again today. Drives me bonkers. It really does. And it's like this Liam Delap thing. Oh, what? He's going to Real Madrid. Oh, shit. Pep, shit, this, that, and that. Hold on a minute. We've got possibly the best prospect that we've seen for many, many a year going into the England squad. That is a Manchester City player who's the most exciting young player for me in the Premier League, in Phil Foden. Pep's managed that. He didn't send him on loan. He knew how good Phil Foden was, and he knew what his pathway needed to be. And he's proven absolutely spot on with the way he's done it. And let's face it, apart from Jadon Sancho, which he wanted Jadon Sancho to stay, he refused to sign a contract. So he had no choice. He can't force the player to stay.
No.
He wanted Sancho. Who else has gone abroad or gone to another club and gone and ripped it up that Pep's gone, well, I made a bit of a mistake there? Who? Anybody?
Well, you remember when Devante Cole was scoring?
Yeah.
And they went. I think he might have gone to Barnsley, and it just never materialised for him. You're talking about these small percentages.
Yeah.
From being a very, very, very good footballer to making it, and then making it at the higher level, even smaller percentages. And you just don't know with these kids. And Liam Delap, for all the goals he's scored, he might end up as Rochdale's centre forward. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what is going to happen, but these small percentages and improvements that players have to make, it's down to them really. So
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And you know, just because he's banging in a few goals for the EDS doesn't mean to say he suddenly should be a Sergio replacement or even a backup. I mean, at the end of the day, I can see the backup element, bring him in for the cup games and things like that, but he's got a long to go. He's only young. Cole Palmer is worth a go. Another one. You know, it's brilliant. Yeah, very exciting player. But same thing, same principle. You know, and maybe that low.
Cole Palmer has a game. You watch him on some games and you think, well, I'm not sure about him. And then you watch him the week after and you think, Jesus, what a player this lad is, you know? And like I've said, mate, for me, the player that stands out the most in the EDS is James McAtee.
Yeah.
He's such a cultured footballer. But again, you know, there's parts of his game that he knows that he needs to improve on, and he will improve, I'm sure. Yeah. We're very lucky to have these talented teenagers, but let's not forget what the academy is there really for, you know, and it is to produce very good footballers.
Listen, we're not all screaming about Brahim Diaz.
Yeah.
Goes to Real Madrid in a worse league than the Premier League. Ends up getting shifted out back on loan. I know that they might be thinking of bringing him back and now lately, but just to show you, it doesn't.
Angelino and Maffeo are going to be our fullbacks for the next 25 years.
Maffeo was another one. It was Messi hugged and he marked Messi out the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was raving about him. What's ever happened to him since? Nothing. So it's one-off games that are great, but it's consistency. I think when you've got to think, Pep sees these players when they're around the first team squad. He sees them day in, day out. He sees their attitude. He knows about what they do off the field. He knows about how they've trained, you know, every day, pressure, whatever, when they're around the first team squad. It's one thing doing it around the EDS squad, but when they're brought into the first team squad, he sees what it's like because they have to up their game. Who was it? Who was it? I was listening to a podcast yesterday and somebody said, I think it wasn't Michael Richards, it might have been somebody else, was saying when he joined the City first team squad, he just went, oh my God. When he realised the step up, when he started playing around, I don't think it was Micah, I think it was somebody else. And they were saying that the step up was just phenomenal. And it was like, oh my God, you know, I have to seriously up my game here because the level is so significantly higher when you're around. And we're not no disrespect to Bournemouth and Bolton and Burnley, and we have some of the best players in world football. And when you step up to that level, as a kid, an 18, 19-year-old, you have to be seriously confident and seriously good. Yeah. And clearly that's why Pep has kept Foden around the first team squad, because he's seen something. And he said it, didn't he, a few years ago, saying he's the best young talent I've ever worked with. So, you know, people shout out, you know, Liam Delap should be this and so should be that. And Pep sees these players. He sees them. He has scouting reports. He sees everything about them. If he's that good, it'd be around the first team squad constantly on the sub bench. Right now.
You got to trust
that in the future.
You got to trust Pep, and you got to trust Varane and Cheeky and Calder. The way the club is run is second to nobody. You know, in fact, I think we're miles ahead of everyone else in terms of how the club is run. And you got the best manager in the world. You just have to put your trust in him. Now you might get the odd one who doesn't work out or who slips through your fingers, but on the majority, most of the decisions these guys are making and have been since the takeover have been phenomenal. Just a brilliant time to be a Manchester City fan. And the one thing that I would like to sort of say here, because it'd be interesting to know from people like Tom and Charlie of people that age group, because really, you know, they're 16, 17-year-old kids. How do they feel about Sergio leaving? Because we've seen players come and go. You know, we've had our heroes in the past, but and I know how it feels. I feel a little bit empty that Sergio's going. I'm not sure why that is, but when he's been the striker that you've known pretty much the whole of your life, I'd love to know what they, you know, how they feel about losing, you know, such a wonderful footballer. You know,
it is interesting. It really is, because you look at, you know, Sean Coulter when he left, and that was in our day, that was a big thing. You know, Sean Coulter.
Sean Wright Phillips, wasn't it? When
Sean Wright Phillips went to Chelsea,
huge.
I know he came back, but I mean, it was like it was just massive, yeah, absolutely massive. Now, clearly, in this day and age, it's not as big as somebody who's won us
no.
You know what is won us and things, but it was huge. It was absolutely massive.
And you know, Paul Lake when him getting injured and him never making it, and Gary Flitcroft leaving, and players like that team that from
Michael Johnson.
Yeah,
when you saw Michael Johnson, thinking, I cannot believe this guy is not. What has gone on here? I mean, that was one of the biggest. I mean, for me, in footballing terms, as a Man City fan, the fact that Michael Johnson did what he did and, you know, didn't progress to where he needed to be through lots of personal, mental issues and things like that. I mean, that guy was absolutely revered by many a professional as, this guy is going to be the next England captain. This guy is the next Gaza. This guy is the next. He's just, and he was that good. He was a phenomenal player, absolutely phenomenal. But for whatever reason, it didn't turn out for him. But yeah, it's I don't know. Let's go back quickly before we go and just see what final comments are. Eric, Sean. I think we get your message. I don't know. It's a bit. Had your chainsaw out, mate?
No, I haven't.
Fans, how about that? Hey up, Captain Monkfish. Hey up, Man City fans, how about that? There you go. Captain Monkfish. But he takes the time to come on a Man City fan channel. Unbelievable. Type in Patrick Roberts' first goal for Man City. He's gifted Pep don't want him. Yeah, never performed when he actually played. The lad who went to Schalke had just been sent home from Wales. You mean Rabbi Matondo, youth player, and guaranteed big egos in small ponds. Rabbi Matondo, yeah, was the one that, you know, left City and supposed to be the next big thing. And well, I mean, let's face it, we've signed the likes of Gomez from PSG, and not really worked out, has it? They're all about tonight, aren't they? Yeah, they are. What's happening with the young Brazilian left-footed Neymar? Yes, Keita, I think it's called Keita. Apparently, it's going to be a signing that will. Is it going to be around £21.5 million? Eventually, if we do, but we're also going to sign his compatriot as well, which is going to be around £10.5 million. That'll be interesting. I don't know how they're going to get around the work permit for this new Ronaldinho. But, you know, we hear this all the time, don't we? When we signed Gabriel Jesus, we had the other player that we signed at the same time. He was supposed to be better than Gabby Jesus, but went on to be nothing. So be interested. But this young lad, I did watch a video this morning on him. Yeah, he looks a tricky player, looks a little bit good feet and everything, but you watch these videos and it's like, yeah. Joe looked good on a video, didn't he? But we'll see. They are apparently they are raving about this kid. I'm sure it's called Kate. Is it called Keika? Keika. Maybe somebody in the comments may know Keika. Well, let me just see. Man City Keika. I think it's all Kakia. Not sure. Is it kayak? I'm not sure. No. Who knows? What it's called? I'm just looking here on news now, see if any. No, nothing's caught there. But anyway, this young kid apparently is around.
Ryan's put is Kayky.
Keiki or Keiki.
Kay.
Kaki. I don't know how you pronounce it. But yeah, apparently the rumours are City are definitely buying him. But the full cost could be up to £21.5 million for him. And he is supposed to be the next Ronaldinho of Brazilian football. But we're also buying his compatriot as well, but that'll cost around 10 million. I think I did a video on this kid probably about 3 months ago. I'd have to go back and search it. And there were the two young kids from the same team that City were in for, but then it was just rumours. But it looks like it's definitely gonna happen. But it's gonna be interesting. I can't see him replacing what we've been talking about tonight, and that is Sergio Aguero. And it will take something, and maybe Erling Haaland may be the man to replace him. Can't see Harry Kane replacing Sergio Aguero in the long term, but he still could be an absolute amazing signing. And as for Mbappe, Chris's favourite player, can't see that happening. I really can't. I really can't see him leaving. I can't see him leaving PSG for City, and I can't see City paying that type of money. I'd love it. I think he's a brilliant player, absolutely brilliant. But I can't see it happening. So I'm going to ask you finally. Sergio's gone. One name. You've got a choice. Who is it? Who's coming in the summer, Chris? One name. Because you can't have both of them.
No. I think it'll be Haaland. I think is the obvious one. There's connections as well, isn't there? But, his dad playing for us, and
yeah. Okay, well, I'll be controversial. I'll go against you. I'll say it's Harry Kane.
I will not be disappointed if it is. No, trust me.
I'm only saying that just to go against you. I think it's possibly Haaland, but yeah, there you go. So Chris thinks Haaland. I think Harry Kane. We'll probably get KK from South America, and that'll be our new superstar, and he'll probably bang in 40 goals a season, and Pep will have proved everyone wrong. But we'll wait and see. But anyway, that brings us to the end of Sergio Aguero. Sorry, I didn't. Somebody made a right nasty comment last night on the thing, saying, "Can't believe you didn't put out a video. That idiot Ray put out a video, but you didn't about Sergio." I was thinking, well, yeah, it was my wife's birthday. What do you want me to do? Come on and go, oh, by the way, everyone knows that Sergio's left. Right, what do you want to say? It's like everyone knows Sergio's. I mean, it's like
just as the frying pan comes into view, smacking you around the head.
Yeah. But anyway, what we thought we'd do is we'd do one tonight. We'll talk about a little bit more than just the emotional nonsense and meltdown that was over social media last night. We'd talk about where he might go, who could be his replacements, and talked a little bit about some of the youth players as well, who potentially could come into the team. But it's interesting. We'll wait and see. As for anything, who knows? Who really knows? But Sean Fogarty thinks it's going to be Haaland. Charlie says, great stream, Andy and Chris tonight, guys. Sad to see the King leave. On to the next one. And that's the way it is. They're all going to leave at some point. King Clancy left. Gota left, Dickoff left, all of the legends left. Vinny's left, Silva's left. Fernandinho could be leaving in the summer, so it's just, we have to move on. We have to move on.
Yeah, you got to thank them for what they've brought.
Yeah.
All the joy they brought to us, and just be glad of that we got to see him for so long as well. Not for a couple of seasons, for 10 years you got to see David Silva. You got 10 years of Sergio Aguero. Wow, amazing.
And to think we were. Can you imagine us saying, imagine if we did this vlog 10 years ago, going, well, Joe was here for 5 years. He was shit. But see, Joe, yeah. Thanks for your effort. We have seen such amazing players over the last 10 years. Joe Hart, Company, Silva, Aguero, maybe Fernandinho in the summer. It's been a pleasure, but look at the players that we're seeing now. Diaz, Phil Foden, coming into the team. We've still got Raheem Sterling, who's been at the top of his game. Got so many of the players. Ferran Torres.
Kevin De Bruyne.
We've got Joao Cancelo for Tom. Zinke for Martin. We've got all of these players that we are blessed to see. And who knows what this summer's going to bring. It could bring us 3 or 4 massive signings, huge signings that will take us to the next transition. And in a few years' time, we're going to be going, Kevin De Bruyne is not going to sign an extended contract. He's 32 and he's leaving. That's just natural. That's just the way it is. But just enjoy it while it lasts. And we've never had a greater time in my lifetime than what we've got now. So just enjoy it. Alex says Kane will get loads of goals. You will think Harry Kane, but should be Haaland. Both be same money, but one a baby in years ahead, and one is 28. So for me, Haaland. I don't think they'll be the same money. I think Kane will be a lot more. Personally, Haaland incoming, reckons John Grogan. 100 likes on live. Cheers. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys don't go. Yeah, we are going. Hardest thing to put the ball. Hardest thing is to put the ball in the net. It is interesting. Mahrez for Chris. What's that? What's that? Sorry. What's that? Yeah, we'll leave it there. I think leave it. I think Martin has absolutely answered his own question there with that one. Yeah, loved him. Yeah, he loved himself as well and his birthday. City in for Tommy Orpington. Haaland, please. MCFC Dublin Ireland, says Dale Brennan. Haaland. Well, it seems Haaland is one of the most popular ones, definitely. Fans do a lifetime sentence. Players only get 10 years if they're lucky. We will still be bound to welcoming the next legends. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. So well said, Scott. Sorry, just jumped there. Yeah, loved Kipling cakes. He did. But anyway, before I go, I am going to finish on this, and I do want to say a massive rest in peace to this fella. We said it at the beginning, and very, very, very sad news today with the passing of Claude from Claude and the Banstas, ex Arsenal Fan TV or AFTV, whatever they're called. Real shame. Really, really is. So for everyone, from everyone at Man City Fan TV, Claude, rest in peace, buddy. And it is what it is, and be nice to everyone because you never know what's going on in the background in people's lives. We'll be back at some point soon. Chris, thank you very much, buddy.
Cheers, Andy. Nearly gone to Friday night social length tonight, mate. But thanks for everyone for joining us.
Hello.
And for everyone making nice comments for Claude. You know, it's nice to see. So thanks for joining us, and see you soon.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. This is Man City Fan TV. I'm Andy. That's Chris. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. We're nearly at 17,000 subscribers. Hit that bell icon. Give it a thumbs up. And we'll be back, as usual, probably tomorrow night with some more news. But take care and rest in peace, Claude.